Hi there, it's just me. I've actually waited a week to make this video after what I'm going to talk about occurred because I wanted to be able to calm down and sort everything out before I told you about it. So, you'll notice that this video is called A Lot of Firsts because in the past little while I've done a lot of things for the first time. Two things that I want to talk to you about mainly. One was a really good experience, and the other, so far, I'm still seeing it as a pretty negative experience. But let's just get it over with, and we'll talk about the bad one first. So this whole experience starts with this textbook. So I went to the Ottawa store, and I got the textbooks that were available. Apparently textbooks sell out really easily, so I've got some like sketchy ones off Kijiji and stuff. But I got this textbook for my French class. Okay? And I read on my virtual campus that I had to read chapter 3 before my class. I'm like, chapter 3 can't be that hard. I go through it. Really, it's only a couple pages. It's not that long. So I figure I can do this. So I sit down with my book and I try to start reading it. And I have never read anything at this level of French in my whole entire life. Like, it just wasn't making sense to me. I ended up having, like, my computer there, and I had my Google Translate, and, like, every time I came across a word that I didn't understand, and you'll see how many words I didn't understand, I circled them all. Can you see that? Well, anyways, there are a lot of circled words. So every time I didn't understand a word, I would look it up and find the English translation. But turns out some of these words, I didn't even know what the English word meant. So then I had my dictionary.com open so I could look up the English words and figure out what they mean. And it took me a solid like 2 days, not 2 days straight, but like a long time to sit down and read this book. And it was really super frustrating. I didn't get it. I didn't know, like, what am I supposed to do? There's, like, buy the English version of the textbook? Is there even an English version of this textbook? Probably not. So, I tried really hard, and this whole experience kind of just ended with my book being thrown at the wall. So then I had my class on Monday that I had to go to. And I was already kind of not so happy because I couldn't do the reading very easily. But I was like, it's okay. Maybe the teacher will explain the readings and I'll understand it. So I go to this class. It's in the new social science building and it's really nice. And I find this class with much difficulty because I'm a first year and I can't find anything. So I eventually find this class and everyone has already taken their seats. And I just walk into this classroom, and there's like 200, might as well have been like 1,000 kids, I don't know. There were a lot of them. So there's a bunch of like students, and they're all sitting there, and there are like sparse little open seats. So I walk in, and I'm like, it's okay, I'm going to look for kids with these, with the French immersion bracelets. Well, I think I was the only one who remembered to wear my French immersion bracelet, or maybe in the sea of like a million Francophone students, I couldn't find another French immersion bracelet. So in theory, the French immersion bracelets were a great idea, but not so effective in a huge class. Anyways, I walk in and I find a seat and all these people are just talking in French and I have no idea what they're saying because they're like talking way faster than all of my high school French teachers. So I walk in there and I just kind of like motion because I don't want to speak to anyone. So I just kind of motion and sit down and don't look at anyone because I don't want to talk to anyone. Because they're all like, they might as well have been speaking like another language to me. Anyways, so I sit down and I take out my notes because I'm going to take my notes, and the teacher comes out and he starts talking. And I swear to you, he could have been speaking like Mandarin or something. I had no idea what the guy was saying. He would start his sentences and I'd understand the beginning, then he'd mumble the rest of it. I was really taken aback because I was under the impression that I was going to be able to at least understand what the prof was saying. I might have difficulty with the content, but I thought that I would understand the prof speaking, but apparently not. So yeah, so the prof is just talking and talking, and in my head, I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what's happening? I can't ask the girl next to me what he just said because she only speaks French too. And I walked into that class thinking, hey, I'm pretty good at French. I've been in extended French. I studied half the day in English, half the day in French for like most of my grade school, and then I did 2 credits in French a semester. I'm pretty good, right? Nope, apparently not. So that whole class, I'm just freaking out in my head, and maybe that's why I didn't understand him for the last bit, because in my head I'm just freaking out, and I'm like, why am I here? What is going on? And then the teacher starts telling jokes, and everyone around me is laughing, and I'm just like, what did he say? But I can't ask anyone what he said because everyone's speaking French. And then the teacher walks around, and he starts like asking people in the class questions, and I was like, oh my god, like, I really hope he doesn't ask me something because I don't even know what he's saying. So I was like freaking out, like I was just gonna like leave that class. I've never felt that overwhelmed in my life, I don't think. I was like, I can't do this, and yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then finally, the class ended, and I was like, okay, good. I get to go to my accompanying language class, and the teacher there will be able to tell me what's going on, and I'm sure that the other kids, if there were even other kids who spoke English, which there were other Anglophone students in that classroom, maybe they didn't understand it either. And I run into some other immersion kids in the elevator, and they're like, oh, are you going to the FLS class? And I was like, yeah, are you? They're like, yeah, what did you think of the lecture? And I told them, I didn't understand any of it. Like, what was that guy saying? And they were like, oh, really? Yeah, he was a little bit hard to understand, but we got it. So apparently the other kids are getting it. Well, I guess they're all immersion kids, and I'm an extended French kid, but still, I thought I was going to be able to understand it. But the other kids got it, I didn't get it. So I go to my accompanying language course, and the teacher shows up eventually, and it's a really nice classroom, and I'm sitting out there, and maybe I was distracted. I think there were a couple factors here. I was distracted because the whole room was made out of windows, so I had like this really nice view of the Rideau Canal and like everything, so that was kind of distracting. Second of all, in my head, I'm still freaking out, and I'm like, why am I here? I can't do this. I can't fail now. I'm all the way in Ottawa, but I can't handle this, and having a mental breakdown. So then the accompanying language teacher comes in, and she starts speaking French, of course, because it's a French class. I don't know what I was expecting. And I have no idea what she's saying. I was just in my head, like, freaking out. I had no idea what the lady was saying. Everyone else seemed to understand. She was just passing out handouts, and I just wanted to get out of there, and I just wanted to go to my dorm and sleep. And yeah, and I was having a really bad day. And then, oh, just to put the icing on the cake, I got back to my room, and I just wanted to, like, fall asleep and stay asleep for like a week so I wouldn't have to go to that class again. And I got a call from my sisters, and my hamster wasn't doing very well, and then my hamster unfortunately passed away. All in that same time period. So I was just basically going crazy. I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, it's just a hamster, but I kind of really love my hamster. Yeah, so that was my really bad experience. Now, on a positive note, I did semi-resolve that whole French experience. I emailed my accompanying language teacher, and she's helping me out with some stuff. And I also emailed the French mentors, and I've signed up for like a workshop on how to understand the lectures and take notes. So I'm really hoping that that'll help. But let's move on to the good experience now. So you won't believe what I did. I joined a team that plays sports. And now you're like, Adri, what the heck? You don't play team sports. You ski and you do trampoline. You don't do team sports. but I'm a new person and I'm now on a sports team. Are you ready to hear about it? It is the recreational University of Ottawa Quidditch team. That's right, I said it. I am on the Quidditch team, and I went out to the dollar store and I bought myself a broom, and I've had one practice and I have another practice tomorrow, and I'm alright. I'm not the worst player there, I'm not the best player there, but I'm alright, and I actually make a fair beater. So, check out these clips and you can see just how amazingly fun and nerdy the University of Ottawa recreational Quidditch team is. Alright, so there you have it. I know I've done a lot of ranting today, but in this video I've explained to you about two firsts that I've experienced. My first French class, which was not a very good experience, and my first Quidditch practice, which was a very good experience. Oh, et je dois dire quelque chose en français parce que je dois dire quelque chose en français pour chaque vidéo. Donc, ce que je veux dire est que j'espère que l'expérience de l'immersion sera mieux et j'espère que vous aimez mon vidéo.